It's time to take a look at the belly-flopping, evil, butt-kicking world of Kung Fu Panda. Since its debut in 2008, this awesome animated franchise has been wowing audiences with its blend of martial arts action, hilarious characters, and surprisingly deep themes. From the Valley of Peace to the furthest reaches of China, we'll be following the franchise from all 4 major films and some secret short ones. We'll watch Po, the titular panda, as he learns to master the art of Kung Fu, confront his destiny, discover the true meaning of inner peace, and much, much more. There are a few characters that you'll need to know about if you don't already. Master Shifu, the headmaster of the Jade Palace and mentor to the Furious Five, the Valley of Peace's fierce protectors. They're made up of Crane, Viper, Monkey, Mantis, and Tigress. Then there's Grand Master Oogway, also at the Jade Palace, who's now living in retirement. He was the mentor of Shifu and the oldest Kung Fu warrior in existence. Then we've got Mr. Ping, Po's adopted dad who runs the most famous noodle store in the valley. And last but not least is Tai Lung, one of the most powerful Kung Fu warriors in existence. But his power corrupted him when he wasn't chosen to be the Dragon Warrior, so he had to be locked away in a high-security prison, and there he stayed for 20 years. But something tells me that he might be getting out sooner rather than later. I think that that's all the basics completely covered, for the first film anyway. So now it's time to grab your chopsticks, because this is the legend of Kung Fu Panda. Skadoosh! The first film starts with Po, mid-dream, battling alongside the famous Furious Five, who he's idolized since he was a little panda cub. He's soon dragged back to reality by his adopted dad, Mr. Ping, who needs his help running his famous noodle shop. But Po is a clumsy, chubby panda who isn't really suited to a small store. And as a kung fu fanatic, he dreams of fighting evil, not running the family noodle business. Meanwhile, high in the Jade Palace, Master Shifu receives a chilling warning from Master Oogway, a premonition that Tai Lung, Shifu's former student, a snow leopard with a thirst for revenge, is about to escape his prison. Shifu then sends Zhang, the palace goose, to Chor Gom prison. He lets him know to double the security, if he can get there in one piece.
Tai Lung does not leave that prison!
Yes, Master Shifu!
Oogway then also declares it's time to choose the legendary Dragon Warrior, the one destined to receive the power of the Dragon Scroll and defend the Valley of Peace. So a tournament is announced, and the Furious Five prepare to compete. Po, hearing the news of the tournament, is desperate to go, but his dad, ever the businessman, convinces him to take a noodle cart up to the Jade Palace arena. But after, some stairs, Po abandons the cart and arrives exhausted, just as the gate slams shut. He tries everything to get inside, and finally, in a moment of sheer desperation, and with a little help from some fireworks, Po launches himself into the sky, landing right in the middle of the arena, just as Oogway is about to announce the Dragon Warrior. Lo and behold, the ancient tortoise is pointing to the panda, who has literally just landed in front of him. But Oogway's word is final. He believes that it's Po's destiny to become the Dragon Warrior. Shifu, confused that this is a mistake, tries everything to make Po quit. Grueling training, dangerous trials, humiliating matches against the Furious Five, especially Tigress, who sees Po as nothing but a joke.
How's that?
Dejected and defeated, Po seeks comfort in the peach tree of heavenly wisdom, stuffing himself with peaches. It's there that Master Oogway finds him, offering those famous wise words that reinstill hope in Po.
Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift.
Meanwhile, Tai Lung has escaped. Using a feather from Zhang, the messenger goose, he'd picked the lock of his acupuncture restraint and fought his way to freedom, sending a chilling message back to the Jade Palace that the real Dragon Warrior is coming home.
Fly back there and tell them, the real Dragon Warrior is coming home.
Taking Oogway's word to heart, Po returns to training with renewed determination, surprising Shifu and the Five. He might not have mastered Kung Fu, but his tenacity, good humor, and cooking skills start to win over some of the Five. Tigress, however, remains unconvinced. As Tai Lung approaches, Oogway makes Shifu promise to believe in Po, then ascends to the heavens in a shower of flower petals, leaving the fate of the valley in Shifu's hands.
You must believe.
Master!
Panic-stricken, Po tries to flee, but Shifu, remembering his promise, insists that he stay. Tigress, witnessing this argument, takes matters into her own paws and leads the Furious Five to confront Tai Lung themselves. Shifu, desperate to fulfill Oogway's wish and train Po, discovers the panda's one weakness: food.
Don't tell Monkey.
which funnily enough is my weakness too. Wait, that means I'm the Dragon Warrior. Anyway, using culinary bribes as motivation, Shifu leads Po on a unique training journey, transforming him into a surprisingly skilled and agile warrior. The Furious Five, meanwhile, face Tai Lung on a treacherous rope bridge. Despite their valiant efforts, they're no match for his power, and fall victim to his deadly nerve attacks. Only Crane escapes, carrying his paralyzed comrades back to the Jade Palace. Believing that Po is finally ready, Shifu presents him with the Dragon Scroll, but when they open it, they find nothing but a blank golden surface.
It's blank.
What?
Confused and disheartened, they're forced to evacuate the valley, leaving Shifu to face Tai Lung alone in a last stand. During the evacuation, Po encounters his father, who, ever the optimist, is already planning a new noodle shop. Po, his dreams completely shattered, listens as Mr. Ping reveals the secret ingredient to his famous soup.
The secret ingredient is nothing.
Huh?
You heard me. Nothing.
Suddenly, it all makes sense. The Dragon Scroll, the training, it was all about believing in himself. So Po races back to confront Tai Lung. At the Jade Palace, Tai Lung has defeated Shifu, demanding the scroll and unleashing years of pent-up anger. He blames Shifu for choosing him, then abandoning him for not believing in him. Shifu apologizes for his past mistakes, but it's too late. Tai Lung just wants the scroll, which he now realizes is missing. But he doesn't have to look very far, as Po appears ready for battle. Tai Lung scoffs at the panda.
He's a panda. You're a panda. What are you gonna do, big guy? Sit on me?
He launches an attack, and they battle across the palace grounds and down into the village, Tai Lung's frustration growing with every move. Finally, he pins Po to the ground and seizes the scroll, only to find it empty. Confusion turns to rage as Po explains its meaning like his father told him earlier. Tai Lung, blinded by fury, launches another attack, but Po's resilience proves to be his unexpected advantage. The snow leopard's nerve attacks are useless, merely tickling him. Po counters with powerful moves of his own, finally subduing Tai Lung with the Wu Shi finger hold, a technique feared across the land.
You're bluffing! Shifu didn't teach you that.
Skadoosh.
The Furious Five and the villagers return to find Po victorious, though slightly dazed. Mr. Ping, overwhelmed with pride, embraces his son, the Kung Fu warrior. Tigress, finally acknowledging his strength and courage, leads the five in accepting Po as their equal. Humbled and overjoyed, Po remembers Shifu and rushes back to the palace. He finds the old red panda barely conscious. Shifu, with his dying breath, thanks Po for bringing peace to the valley and to him. Po, fearing the worst, begs him not to die. Ooh, thought we were gonna lose him. That was close.
No, don't die, Shifu, please!
I'm not dying, you idiot. Dragon Warrior.
And that's where the first film ends. Po defeats an all-time evil and becomes the best version of himself. I wonder where he could possibly go from here. Well, to the past, actually. The second film opens up to a time long ago, with Lord Shen, heir to the Peacock clan that ruled Gongmen City. Shen believed that he could harness the power of fireworks to conquer all of China. He was then warned by a soothsayer that a warrior of black and white will one day defeat him. I wonder who that could be. Shen, convinced this referred to the giant pandas, ordered their swift extermination. His horrified parents banished him, leaving Shen consumed by bitterness and with a thirst for revenge, which in fairness is kinda how all villains end up. Are you even a villain if you're not even the smallest bit thirsty for revenge? Come on. Years later, we find Po living a life that was only a dream in the first film. He's the Dragon Warrior, protecting the Valley of Peace alongside the Furious Five. But Master Shifu knows Po still has much to learn. Inner peace, he says, is the key. Their training is interrupted by a raid on a nearby village. Wolves, led by a mysterious figure, are pillaging the villages for metal. So Po and the Five spring into action, but the Dragon Warrior is distracted by a symbol on the lead wolf's armor, a symbol that triggers a flashback of his mother. Po, now questioning his origins, turns to his father, Mr. Ping, who reveals he found Po as a baby in a vegetable crate.
Only there were no radishes. Hungry baby panda.
Meanwhile, news reaches the Jade Palace. Master Thundering Rhino, protector of Gongmen City, has been killed by a terrifying new weapon. A weapon that threatens to destroy Kung Fu itself. Po and the Five are sent to investigate, but Po is haunted by disturbing nightmares and those mysterious flashbacks. They arrive in Gongmen City to find it under Lord Shen's control. The Peacock, now a fearsome warlord, has created a powerful cannon, fueled by fireworks. Po and the Five try to enlist the help of Master Storming Ox and Croc, but the two are paralyzed by fear. They refuse to leave their prison cell, convinced they're powerless against Shen's weapon. Po and the five are discovered and captured. Brought before Lord Shen, the peacock mocks the goofy panda, while the soothsayer realizes Po knows nothing of his past. But Po and the five have a plan. They break free and destroy Shen's cannon, but Po is again distracted by that symbol, this time on Shen's plumage. The peacock escapes, revealing an arsenal of cannons. Po and the five barely escape with their lives. Tigress confronts Po, demanding to know why he froze. Po, torn between his mission and his past, finally confesses that Shen is somehow connected to his parents. He needs answers. Tigress, understanding his need, assures him she won't let him face this alone. Determined to uncover the truth, Po breaks into Shen's cannon factory, foiling the Five's plan to destroy it. He confronts Shen, who cruelly claims that Po's parents abandoned him. Po, devastated, is blasted by a cannon and falls into the river, seemingly dead. Shifu, back at the Jade Palace, is heartbroken. He watches helplessly as Shen's forces prepare to attack. But Po is not dead. He's rescued by the soothsayer, who takes him to the ruins of his childhood village. There, guided by the soothsayer, Po's repressed memories resurface. He sees the destruction of his village, his mother's desperate attempt to save him by hiding him in that vegetable crate. He realizes his parents didn't abandon him. They sacrificed themselves to protect him. Po finally understands. His past doesn't define him. It's his choices that matter. He returns to Gongmen City, ready to face Shen and his demons. Shen, meanwhile, has captured the five. He plans to execute them as his fleet sets sail to conquer China. But Po arrives, freeing the five, and a massive battle erupts. Shifu joins the fight, along with Master Storming Ox and Croc, who have finally overcome their fear. Despite their efforts, Shen's fleet escapes, but Po, standing on a piece of wreckage, uses his incredible kung fu skills to redirect Shen's own cannons back at him, destroying the fleet.
Skadoosh.
He confronts Shen, urging him to let go of this hatred, but Shen refuses, attacking Po with fury. In the chaos, Shen accidentally cuts the ropes holding his own cannon, which falls and crushes him. Po has saved the day. He returns to the Valley of Peace, where he embraces his father in every way that matters. But in a hidden village far away, Po's biological father senses his son is alive. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Po's journey has just begun. The next stage of Po's journey in Kung Fu Panda 3 begins in the spirit realm, where Master Oogway finds his deep meditation shattered by a powerful bull named Kai, a spirit warrior who's emerged from the shadows. 500 years ago, Oogway and Kai fought side by side, but now Kai has turned to darkness, stealing the chi of countless Kung Fu masters. He needs Oogway's chi to return to the mortal realm and claim ultimate power. Oogway, though defeated, warns Kai that he was never meant to be the one to stop him. Someone else has been set on that path. Meanwhile, in the Valley of Peace, Po and the Furious Five face a surprising announcement. Shifu is stepping down, leaving Po in charge of their training. Po's first session is a hilarious disaster.
You two do a swarming insect fight with a yellowtail, yellow jacket, spicy tuna.
But Shifu reveals that he planned it that way, hoping to push Po to grow. He tells Po that being the Dragon Warrior is about more than just fighting. It's about mastering chi, the life force that flows through all living things. Just then, Kai arrives in the mortal realm. Forgotten by history, he uses his stolen chi to create an army of Jade Warriors and sets out to destroy Oogway's legacy. Po, struggling with self-doubt, receives an unexpected visitor, his biological father, Li Shan. He reveals that other pandas have survived in a hidden village. Kai's Jade Warriors attack the valley, and Po realizes the danger. He must learn to master chi, and Li Shan offers to teach him. Po, Mr. Ping, and Li Shan journey to the panda village, where Po is overjoyed to find his true family, but the threat of Kai still looms. He captures master after master, including Mantis Crane and even Shifu. Tigress races to warn Po, but it may be too late. Li Shan confesses he doesn't know the ancient chi techniques. Po, furious but determined, prepares to face Kai. Even though Tigress warns him, the Wuxi fingerhold won't work alone. With encouragement from Mr. Ping, Po rallies the pandas, training them in his own unique style. They face Kai's Jade Warriors, creating chaos and confusion. Po tries to use the Wuxi fingerhold on Kai, but it has no effect.
Skadoosh. Okay, that didn't work. Let me try one more time. Skadoosh.
Kai is no ordinary warrior, he's a spirit. Suddenly, Po understands. He grabs Kai and uses the Wuxi fingerhold on himself, pulling them both into the spirit realm.
What?
Po!
Son! Skadoosh! Son! No!
Kai captures Po, but back in the Panda Village, Po's allies, inspired by the sacrifice, unlock the power of Chi. Po breaks free and unleashes his life force, defeating Kai and freeing all the energy that he stole. Chose Po because he believed in his ability to unite the past and future of Kung Fu. Po returns to the mortal realm, now a true master of Chi. He teaches the pandas, the Kung Fu masters, and the Valley of Peace, spreading his newfound energy throughout the land. Kung Fu Panda 4 kicks off with Po facing a new challenge. He's been named the spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace, but that means finding a successor to take his place as the Dragon Warrior. It's a tough task, and Po isn't sure where to start. Meanwhile, a new threat emerges. A cunning sorceress known as the Chameleon, who can shapeshift and steal the chi of others, has her sights set on Po's Staff of Wisdom. She plans to use it to open the spirit realm and steal the chi of deceased Kung Fu masters, including Po's old enemies. Po's search for a successor leads him to Shen, a quick-witted but mischievous fox who tries to steal artifacts from the Jade Palace. Po, impressed by her agility and cunning, sees potential in Shen, but first, he has to deal with the Chameleon. The Chameleon, disguised as a goat, manipulates a group of miners into attacking the Jade Palace, claiming they need the Staff of Wisdom to stop a powerful villain. Po, tricked by the Chameleon's disguise, hands over the staff, only to realize that he's been duped. He chases after the Chameleon, but she's already opened the spirit realm and brought back some of Po's most formidable foes, including Tai Lung.
Tai Lung.
Po, realizing the danger, teams up with Shen, who he had previously sent to prison for her attempted theft. Together, they face the Chameleon and her resurrected villains in a series of epic battles. Shen, using her cunning and acrobatic skills, proves to be a valuable ally. Po, meanwhile, struggles to balance his new role as a spiritual leader with his warrior instincts. The Chameleon, growing more powerful with each stolen chi, eventually traps Po and steals his chi as well. But Shen, using her quick wit and the Staff of Wisdom, manages to outsmart the Chameleon and free Po. Po, realizing Shen's true potential, finally names her as his successor. Together, they defeat the Chameleon and return the stolen chi to its rightful owners in the spirit realm.
Skadoosh.
With the Chameleon defeated and a new Dragon Warrior chosen, Po can finally embrace his role as the spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace. He begins to train Shen alongside the Furious Five, preparing her for the challenges ahead. The future of Kung Fu is in good paws, with a little help from a mischievous fox. But that's not where all of Kung Fu fun ends. Luckily for us, in between each film, DreamWorks released some really fun shorts and specials, so we're obviously gonna cover them. The Secrets of the Furious Five takes us back to Po's early days as the Dragon Warrior. He's tasked with teaching a class of rambunctious rabbit students, but they're more interested in playing than learning Kung Fu. To inspire them, Po decides to share the stories of how the Furious Five became the legendary warriors that they are today. First up is Tigress. Abandoned as a cub due to her uncontrollable strength and temper, she grew up in the Ba Gu orphanage, feared and isolated. Master Shifu, seeing her potential, took her under his wing, teaching her discipline and control. But Tigress still yearned for acceptance and love. She eventually found it through Shifu's guidance and her own dedication to Kung Fu. Next is Monkey, a mischievous prankster who caused chaos wherever he went. He was eventually banished from his village. Alone and outcast, he sought refuge in a peach tree orchard, where he met Master Oogway. Oogway taught him the importance of inner peace and using his playful nature for good. Monkey, embracing this wisdom, became a master of acrobatics and a playful but powerful warrior. Mantis, the smallest of the five, was initially dismissed as weak and insignificant, but he discovered his inner strength and incredible speed, becoming a lightning-fast warrior with a knack for acupuncture. He learned to use his size to his advantage, proving that even the smallest creature can be a powerful force. Viper, the daughter of a renowned warrior, was born without fangs. Her father, believing she couldn't defend herself, discouraged her from pursuing Kung Fu. But when her father was injured, Viper discovered her own unique fighting style, using her ribbon dancing skills to disarm and defeat her enemies. Finally, there's Crane, a clumsy and self-conscious janitor at a Kung Fu academy. He dreamed of becoming a warrior himself. Inspired by a confident student, he overcame his fear and embraced his natural grace, becoming a master of aerial combat. Po, having shared these inspiring stories, finally captures the attention of his rabbit students. They realize that even the greatest warriors face challenges and overcame their weakness. Inspired by the Furious Five, they eagerly begin their Kung Fu training, ready to embrace their own potential. The special ends with a heartwarming message that basically anyone can become a hero. And who doesn't need to hear that? It's a festive Kung Fu special time. That's right, it's Christmas in the Valley of Peace, and Po faces a festive dilemma. dilemma. Master Shifu tasks him with hosting the annual Winter Feast at the Jade Palace, a prestigious event for all the Kung Fu masters in China. Po, though honored, is torn. He wants to spend the holiday with his beloved dad Mr. Ping at their noodle shop, but the Winter Feast is a seriously prestigious event. Shifu insists the feast must be perfect, a formal affair with elaborate rituals and tradition. Po, overwhelmed by the pressure, tries to find a way to balance his duties as the Dragon Warrior with his desire to be with his family. He initially tries to enlist his dad as the chef for the feast, hoping to combine his responsibilities with family time. But Mr. Ping, dedicated to serving the Valley of Peace, refuses to leave his restaurant and his loyal customers. He encourages Po to embrace his role as the Dragon Warrior and host a memorable feast. Po, feeling obligated, reluctantly agrees and throws himself into the preparation. However, things don't really go smoothly. He accidentally insults a renowned rabbit chef, Wo Hop, who now seeks to regain his honor by dying at the hands of the Dragon Warrior. Meanwhile, Po struggles to master the intricate rituals and traditions of the feast, much to Shifu's dismay.
This is not right.
He's overwhelmed by the endless rules and expectations, and his attempts to add his own personal touch only create more chaos. As the feast approaches, Po realizes he's losing sight of what truly matters. He's so focused on pleasing Shifu and upholding tradition that he's forgotten the spirit of the holiday, spending time with loved ones and sharing joy. He decides to abandon the formal feast and instead invites everyone to his dad's noodle shop for a more casual and heartfelt celebration. Shifu is initially horrified, but seeing the joy and warmth shared between Po, Mr. Ping, and the other guests, he realizes that Po has created a truly perfect winter feast. Po has learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes breaking tradition and following your heart is the best way to honor the spirit of the holiday. He's found a way to balance his duties as the Dragon Warrior with his love for his family, proving that true happiness comes from connecting with those that you care about. The next short, The Secrets of the Masters, takes us on a journey to Gongmen City, long before Po became the Dragon Warrior. It all starts with Po, Tigress, and Mantis sneaking into the Hall of Heroes, a place forbidden to all but the most revered masters. They're curious about the legendary Thundering Rhino, Storming Ox, and Croc, whose statues stand proudly within the hall. Po, ever the storyteller, recounts the tale of these three unlikely heroes. We learn that they weren't always noble masters. In fact, they were once a band of selfish mercenaries using their kung fu skills for fame and fortune. Thundering Rhino, the leader, was a powerful ox with a thirst for glory. Storming Ox, a sturdy yak, craved wealth and possession, and Croc, a cunning crocodile, was driven by food. One day, they encountered Master Oogway, who challenged him to use their skills for a greater purpose. He asked them to help him retrieve a sacred bowl stolen by the Wu sisters, a dangerous trio of kung fu masters. The mercenaries, initially motivated by the promise of a reward, reluctantly agree. Their journey led them through treacherous landscapes and dangerous encounters. They faced the Wu sisters in a series of thrilling battles, learning to work together and rely on each other's strengths. Along the way, they began to understand the true meaning of kung fu, not as a means of personal gain, but as a way to protect the innocent and uphold justice. They eventually retrieved the sacred bowl, but at a great cost. Thundering Rhino, sacrificing himself to save his friends, discovered the true meaning of heroism. Storming Ox and Croc, witnessing this selfless act, were forever changed. They returned to Gongmen City, no longer mercenaries, but true heroes. They dedicated their lives to protecting the city and upholding the values of Kung Fu. They became known as the Masters of Gongmen City, their legend living on in the Hall of Heroes. Po, Tigress, and Mantis, having learned the secrets of the Masters, emerged from the Hall of Heroes with a newfound respect for these legendary figures. They understand that true heroism comes from selflessness and dedication to a greater cause. It's a lesson that resonates with them, reminding them of their own responsibilities as protectors of the Valley of Peace. Secrets of the Scroll takes us back to the very beginning, before the Furious Five were even a team. It all starts with Tigress, eager to prove herself, setting off on a solo mission to stop a villainous warthog named Boar. Creative name, but in her haste, she accidentally grabs Po's scroll instead of her own, setting off a chain of hilarious events. Po's scroll, filled with his childish doodles and made-up hero names, instructs Tigress to gather Cleaner, Comedian, Dancer, and Doctor. Misinterpreting these as codenames for powerful warriors, Tigress sets off on a quest to find them. She first encounters Crane, a clumsy janitor with dreams of kung fu glory, mistaking him for the Cleaner. Then she finds Monkey, a mischievous prankster with incredible acrobatic skills, believing him to be the Comedian. Next is Viper, a graceful ribbon dancer with hidden strength, whom Tigress assumes is the Dancer. And finally, she meets Mantis, a tiny but mighty insect with a knack for acupuncture, thinking he must be the Doctor. This unlikely group, each with their own unique skills and personalities, reluctantly team up to confront Boar. Despite their initial lack of coordination and constant bickering, they manage to defeat Boar through a series of hilarious accidents and unexpected teamwork. Tigress, impressed by their abilities, returns to Shifu, believing she's assembled a powerful team. However, Shifu's furious when he realizes the mistake. He scolds Tigress for disobeying his orders and relying on a group of misfits.
They have skills!
But they are not the warriors I sent for.
Tigress, feeling dejected, is encouraged by Master Oogway to embrace her own strengths and leadership. She returns to the group, acknowledging their unique talents and officially forming the Furious Five. Meanwhile, Po has been following Tigress's adventure from afar. He actually loses his action figures, which is why Tigress finds the scroll in the first place, is inspired by their heroism. He realizes that Kung Fu is not just about strength and power, but also about teamwork and believing in yourself. The special ends with Po, now filled with a passion for Kung Fu, setting off on his own journey to become a warrior. He's inspired by the Furious Five, a group of unlikely heroes who prove that anyone can achieve greatness, no matter how different or unconventional they may seem. And, well, we all know how that ends up playing out. And with that, we come to the end of our journey. Technically, there is still more panda-packed action out there with the animated TV series Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness, but it's not very good. The animation is really subpar. We don't have Jack Black voicing Po anymore, and it just kind of contradicts the movies in a lot of ways, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it's not really canon, but if you love it, more power to you. Also, there are two other shorts, a mini 3-minute short about two pandas dealing with the Spring Festival called Panda Paws, and the newest short, Dueling Dumplings, where Po takes on Zen in a delicious dumpling cook-off. However, good quality versions of them don't exist online, so sadly we can't cover them. But they're still pretty good, so if you want to check them out, go for it. Other than that, I guess it really is the end. Well, for now, anyway, because Kung Fu Panda 5 and 6 has recently been greenlit. Is that crazy? This is where Master Oogway would say something like, "A journey is not about starting, it's not about ending, it's about being." But I'm not Oogway. I hope you've enjoyed our tour through the Valley of Peace, looking at legend after legend and how one not so little overlooked panda became a protector for millions of people. Let me know down below what your favorite Kung Fu Panda film is, and what franchise you'd like for me to cover next. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!